everybody.
decision,
They
that's
can,
fine.
they can.
Flyers in the,
Run
Well,
again.
yeah, I thought that was like during 2024. I wasn't
false.
expecting it to be like a few
No,
months
it's,
later.
That was you guys
I
decide,
know,
now
one
the
minute.
people decide.
I need 1 minute to get.
signs in the yards.
Just finishing up,
See if you can get in with the Orangevale
Timing
view.
was unfortunate.
Yeah, start doing stuff, going around the city, start town.
Try to leave the
We'll
board.
drive you around. You can be out there just waving to everybody. Like, who's that? Oh,
Okay.
Really, 1 month?
big speaker on top of the hood of the car.
Well, you know, the Orangevale View likes articles if it's educational. They'll publish it for free and will gladly give anybody who's running, just in case this is being aired, you know, consideration for advertisement.
We're not in public yet.
No, it's,
Not until it's called to order.
I can find out from the county what the guidelines are and
Not
Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, August 18th. It's 6:33. The Board of Directors may take up any agenda item at any time regardless of order. Listed action may be taken on any item on the agenda. Roll call.
Arika,
Here?
Mike,
Here?
Moraz is absent.
All right.
Sharon, I'm doing first names today, so what can I say? I'm here. And Lisa.
All right.
I'm present.
And no staff, we have, now I'm gonna go last names. Ross,
present.
Bonesh, Hazel,
Should have gone first.
Bain, and no Woodford. Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and
Mix
do
it
the
up.
Pledge of Allegiance. All right, so we did that. Approval of agenda is written. Can I
I
get a
move
motion?
that we approve the agenda as presented.
A second?
I second that.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
that's fine. I'll second it, then that's fine.
Hang on.
Arika had seconded clearly.
Wait,
All right.
wait. No,
All right.
who moved?
I moved
Lisa.
Arika, second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Good. All in favor? Aye.
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 So 4-0, one absent. Okay, any person may address the board upon any subject within the jurisdiction of the Orangevale Recreation Park District, with each speaker being limited to 3 minutes. However, the chairperson can impose reasonable limitations to the maximum time per person and per agenda item to allow the board to complete its business. Any matter that requires action will be referred to staff or committee for report and action at a subsequent meeting. All right, 6A, approval of minutes.
I move we
Well,
approve the
actually, nobody wants to talk, right? Or does anybody want to talk?
Oh,
I'm just here on, I'm 13A.
All right, okay. Well, maybe we'll take that out of order a little bit. All right.
I move we approve the minutes of the special meeting of July 7th.
Second.
All right, you approve it, she's second, and I was at the meeting, so I can vote on this one, so, I guess, is it individual, because it is money or not?
It is
It's
money.
not, it's just minutes.
All right.
So is
All right.
everybody here, was that that? I forgot to look.
We have
Everybody was here.
Stickney, President, Moraz.
Everybody's
was
here.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and one
So,
absent.
just one absent.
Approval of the regular minutes of the July 14th, and I was not at that meeting, so I'll abstain.
Okay, I move we approve the minutes of the regular meeting July 14th.
I second.
A motion and a second. All in
All
favor?
in favor will be
Aye.
Aye.
Grunberg, Montez, and President.
And one abstention.
Was Mike.
And one absent. Okay. All right, 7A, correspondence. I'm not sure who the gentleman was that wrote the letter, but,
Yeah, Tony is one of the customers here at the community center.
okay.
Do you use a lot of our program services, or?
Do you know, I know that they mentioned Mel and Kathy said that Tony comes by the community center quite often. I believe he's a customer of Orangevale.
He does the senior things. I believe at one point he was helping with the Meals on Wheels.
Oh,
Okay. I just wondered how he knew what was going on. I mean, it's all good and positive,
Yeah, it's
so that's fine, but,
Right, he's nice.
Yeah, just kind of curious what his involvement was.
but that's good. And I guess it was kind of nice to have succession
So when
planning in place.
It worked out. It
Yeah.
did, yes. Kathy's been a
And then the letter from the, which is B, I guess, swim instructor.
right.
Was that a regular class, or was it a private lesson, or what? You don't know?
I don't know.
It was graduation. I believe it was part of a group lesson.
All right, well, that's good, though.
Oh, yeah,
That's
the
good.
minnow swim
Two of the
class
swim
is
instructors.
the group.
Good, that's good.
And a
So-
nice article on the Summer Palooza. Mary Ann Povey did a nice job with photos and an article highlighting that event. And
And there's an article about the farmer's market,
Yeah.
which is going on. It looked like it was probably a little warm out there, but at least it's somewhat shady. It's not on the asphalt. like
Yeah, the
la-
location, I think, helps, but,
Yeah,
yeah, it's sad that we're so hot.
Monday was hot.
Yeah, Monday was insane.
You got to what, 108?
Actually, I played golf on Tuesday, and it wasn't with clouds, it was nice. Relatively nice.
Well, 105 right now.
Yeah, no, it's warm now.
Okay.
Let's see, so we're on 70, promoting a
that's our
new,
ads for
Yeah.
programs.
On to consent calendar.
all right. Okay, consent items, so let's go
I
ahead.
move we approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
It's a
individual,
call.
oh, no, you're right, individual.
Okay, wait, I gotta put,
So that will be item 8,
yeah, item,
3F.
right, because there's the non-consent is 9. So
Right.
all of those
Well, but we have to vote.
expenditures, no, I'm gonna do a roll call vote on those, just so for,
Right,
because
Right.
you've done this a few times now, but it's like, we're approving all of those claims, and the the revenue is just the revenue, but this one has July 13th, right, from,
It has
2
Yeah.
periods.
June, period 13, and July.
yeah,
guess
it's big, it had a lot in it.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, do we go month, we have to go month by month though, too, right? for the-
No, we can do
No.
the whole consent calendar right now.
Yes.
All of it.
Item 8
Item 8,
through
all of it.
All right,
8.3F.
okay. I
If you
was-
wanted to pull something,
No, I was just thought that if we're gonna vote individually, that we had to each month, because it's a different,
the whole.
all right, I'll take your word on it.
Okay. Brunberg is a yes, Montez,
Yes.
President,
Yes.
and Stickney.
Yes,
All right, that's 4 and 1 absent. And then we have, what, 8? No, 9,
9.
which is, I
ratification.
forget, what was that? What was on that one?
There's
It's the Orangevale View.
Orangevale View, that's
Oh,
usually the
yeah.
one, it's not always, but,
I move we approve the ratification of claims for June in the non-consent general fund. That's Brunberg. Somebody else needs to
A
second that.
second.
President, okay.
okay. So we got a motion and a second, and we have enough people that can vote, so let's vote.
Montez.
Abstain?
Oh, that's right.
You're jumping the gun.
That's
Yeah.
why I do pencil.
That's right.
President,
Yes.
Stickney,
Yes.
Mraz is absent, and a Brumberger's a yes. So we got a 3,
So then
a 1
we're,
abstention, and a 1 abstain.
okay, then we'll go on standing committees. I would like, for the maintenance and operation, I think we need to have a meeting in the next couple of months so they can talk about what projects. I know we have the concrete one, and I saw when it was talking about I want to call it, I keep going to call it powwow days. It's not powwow days.
You can call it whatever you'd like as long as you show up.
Right,
Summer
well-
Palooza.
Summerpalooza,
Summerpalooza.
but you were talking about the electrical and the concrete work, so I think we need to at least have a meeting and discuss what, I know we set aside some money for the concrete work,
Yes.
and that's one of the areas that needs to, I'd like to see you have a meeting and discuss that in the next couple of months.
And I will also, if you're done.
Well, I'm addressing Barry, he's going to figure it out, he'll
It's-
talk to the people on the committee.
Yeah, it's Mandy and Erika on that committee.
And next couple of months, I want,
Yeah.
figure that you're going to do it in the fall, or hopefully, if everything goes okay. But you can have that discussion later.
And also put down for same people, myself and Manny, for the trails, since we have the new approval, to figure all that stuff out.
Absolutely.
Is she
yeah.
on the trails?
Yeah.
Okay, good,
So
because
Yeah, you two are on the.
No, you're on the trail.
I'm on the
Oh, you-
trails, yeah, I know I am. Because, yeah, September I'm gone for the first 2 weeks, so we'll have to, you see
I
what.
mentioned that when I was talking.
Okay. And I still have to send you the updated master plan. I did finish it.
Great, all
I
right.
did finish an updated draft, so I gotta send that.
All right, good.
All right,
So we'll try to meet maybe late September on the trails? You'll be back?
I'll be back, yeah, give me, the last week in September.
Okay.
Give
All
me
right.
a week to recover.
okay, and then,
In recreation, I'd like to meet, we normally meet in October for the Recreation Committee, and it's Directors Montez and Stickney.
and I'll be gone till the end of October. Does that
Late
work for you? You pick a date, and then
You'll be
it
around?
can either be real early October.
Yeah, the first part of October's rough for me, but late
why don't we do
October,
it-
I'm good. I'm
Well,
good.
let's do it after the 20th.
Okay.
I'll be back on the 20th, so after the 20th. So that takes care of all the Trails Committees, correct?
Standing committees.
Yes.
All right, then we're on to 11A, Administrator's Report. Go ahead, start, Barry.
Did you do that? Want to do that? Okay, yes, so my report, a couple things I want to bring up is, one is Nadia Coker-Roberts left OVparks for the City of Folsom. Her last day working for us was July 15th. And Christina Kelly also went to Folsom about a month prior. So Folsom is getting rich on our training.
Yeah,
But
and they're richer than us, too.
Yeah, they are. But just wanted to point out that Nadia was a fantastic employee and
She
a
was.
big value to our district.
She was
and
great.
We wish her all the best. And the other thing I want to mention is, had a meeting with other district administrators to talk about the Fulton El Camino Police. And we're one of, I believe, 8 special districts,
Wow, that
Parks
many
and
use
Recreation
them.
districts that use the contract with the Fulton El Camino Police for park patrol services.
How many officers do they have in that?
Good question. I don't know exactly. I want to say around 10 or so.
It'd
But
be interesting to, I'd like that information if you
Yeah.
could find it out for
I can.
another meeting or
Sure.
something.
Sure.
Or if they have a dedicated amount of, like they have a set group of officers that are.
Yeah, and I think don't we ask for a certain amount of patrols? I forget how we actually
We
allocate
do.
our
and-
hours to
and we
them.
normally get, we use them probably less than the other agencies. And we normally get about 5 to 10 hours a week of service, and then we can bump it if there's a certain thing we're targeting, certain problem area that we're targeting, we can get more hours. In summer, they normally patrol more. We tend to find more problems in the summer. Our invoices in the summer tend to be higher. So Emily Ballas is the district administrator for Fulton El Camino, and she's never been responsible for a police department before, and this is new to her. And
she just took over, I guess?
she took over about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she's dealing with consultants to find out if the Fulton El Camino Police is right-sized, if there's better efficiencies they can address. And so this consultant agency is going to be talking with all the district administrators. I'm going to be meeting with them on the 23rd the 13th of September. And just let them know what our experiences are, what our invoices are like, determine the hours that we're getting, our level of, support and confidence that we have in them. And
Yeah, so we started them, how many years ago now, Mike? We've to me, they helped a lot. Yeah, it was Greg, and it seemed to lower some of the crime and the, issues that we had in our parks. And it was kind of nice to have, because otherwise we just had to rely on the sheriffs, which aren't always out there.
We
were having issues.
Well, originally, we used to use the Sacramento County Rangers, and then we quit using them because of the cost. And we had a private firm, but we didn't think we got very good response, so then Greg
Came up with.
I guess he used to work over there, and he knew that they had this. And and like Barry just said, we can, we have certain many hours that we can get, and if we need more, we can get more, depending on, luckily, I think we're not particularly a crime-infested area, so that's good.
Right.
Are we contracted to a certain amount of hours or a certain fixed amount per hour?
So we have an amount of, I believe it's $23,000 a year. They're getting paid $65 an hour per officer. And so you kind of factor that out. It averages out to between, I think, roughly 7 hours a week. We normally contract for about 5 during the slower periods, closer to 10 during our busy months. And if there's HUT problems, we let them know, and they've been pretty responsive. They have had staff turnover recently. The sergeant that we were dealing with mostly was very responsive. He left a few months ago to become a Sac County sheriff. The person that took his place seems great so far. So yeah, I don't know that we've lost anything or gained anything in the past few months, but.
What's the accountability mechanism for, how do we know for sure that 7 hours is being expended?
It's in the report, and at the end of this staff report, it has the Fulton El Camino, their reports to us, but what it does not include is the number of hours. It includes the number of, arrests or call-ins and things like that, so.
So off of their little fundraising, I shouldn't say fundraising, but when they, fines and things, do we get a portion of that to offset any of our costs?
I don't believe we do.
It goes to the county.
Do you?
We get a small check
Okay.
periodically.
Must be very small. Okay.
We see in patrol at different areas. They don't have per se a set schedule where, they come every weekday at this time.
Last year I was advised to let them know about bow wow days. Not sure
They
why.
usually just come by and check on the park, and if we have a request, for example, we have a target area of a certain period of time where something's happening, then they usually arrange for that. Those will be like the extra hours that Barry's referring to, like.
Dogs off leash,
specifically
vandalism.
Direct them to do something for the district.
So it's,
It has worked out okay for us. I mean,
It has.
I was communicating with Barry if there's any issues, and then between the both of us, we'll address whatever area of need is, whether it's
Okay.
vandalism or other.
Sometimes it's just, that vehicle and that uniform makes a difference.
It does.
And we normally let them know, we have an event on this day at this time. If you're in the area, stop by
Okay.
and take a look. We don't normally for certain things, unless we suspect it's going to be potential for,
We don't have those
Problems.
kind of events.
So, yeah, we're fortunate compared to the other agencies. I'll give you an example. Sunrise, our neighbors, Citrus Heights, $200,000 that they spend on patrol security. And almost that same amount in repairing vandalism. So they have like roughly a $400,000.
And they have a police department within,
They have a police
within their,
exactly.
I mean, our sheriffs have to travel through many
Yeah,
cities and
Sunrise
communities.
has the City of Citrus Heights Police, they have FEC Police, and they also contract out with the security firm.
Wow.
So they're,
Have we used them for the?
To
what is it,
count our
the-
blessings.
The tagging that has happened at the Orangevale Park, right?
The one-
Weren't we, yeah, trying to get them to patrol during the times where the,
Which is basically referring with an email, and that's so that they can change the schedule to patrol that at that time.
at that time when we were experiencing that vandalism? Okay.
Is it still happening or not?
High school kids were out, so
Okay.
But now they're back in
now
school.
they're back in school, so
So-
hopefully it doesn't start
It'll
again.
wrap up again.
Is there anything we can do with the high school people?
yeah.
Well, if it continues, I'm gonna take a different approach. I'm gonna see if I can reach out to their, what do they call it? The
Vice
guard
prin-
duty or whatever.
Service
they-
officer.
The resource officer?
Resource officer.
Or some other approach with them and see if we can refer the kids that usually are out and about in the parks and they can come and get them or, so that, that minimizes it. The other option that I was considering is closing our bathrooms during the time that they get out. Usually happens within the span of 3 o'clock to 6 or so.
Well, I mean, I know if you go, if you forget that the school's getting out, you go down Oak to Filbert, it's crowded. I mean, there's everybody, and then that whole corner is full of kids and cars for parents
There's
picking up
nobody
kids.
policing what they're vandalizing the bathroom there, right? That's the one that they're.
Yeah, that's the thing, and plus, I mean, with public places, unless you witness a crime, then you can't, can't really get
Well,
somebody for it.
all right, anyway, we'll
Yeah.
I'll try to remember to mention it next month.
Okay. Let us know how it goes, Barry.
All right.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing something, we're participating, so that's nice.
Anything else, Barry? You gonna
We'll
keep
move on to
going?
recreation. We'll let Jason talk.
Well, recreation, we just wrapped up almost, we have one swim clinic, we're going to start here next week and go for about a month, just since the sun's still heating the pool, so keep it going. But everything kind of closed down, and now we're just trying to focus on getting things going again for the fall.
Well, we'll talk about the pool later
Yeah,
on. 'cause
is
you've got
that
a
on the
FYI
agenda,
there.
update on the pool?
I have a pool update coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's later on.
Oh, yeah, there it is, okay.
I know you mentioned to me you went to some talk about introducing the Muta grass.
Yes, I was going to bring that up next meeting.
All right, okay, that's fine.
Something happened earlier this month, so.
Okay.
So maybe we can move item 13.
Well, I want to get Barry.
It's almost next. It's
Okay.
practically
It's
next
It
now.
will be next.
Yep, it's gonna be, it's next.
In parks, I just have a couple of things that I want to mention. One, we did find a good-size homeless camp in the nature area.
This right here by the disc golf course, or?
It was like pretty close to the center of the entire nature site. Like,
Wow.
just where all the trails kind of meet, but it was inward, like really far into the woods. And they had been there for a little bit, because we got approximately 10 to 12 bags of garbage out of that area.
Oh, my
Just
goodness.
between everything that was gathered on the whole site, all bikes and all other things. So it was a little bit, what I considered to be fortunate was that no fire was started. It seems like the person who was there started to cook on the area, so there was some burnt marks on
So
one of
it-
the trees, so.
Are you guys going to kind of monitor that a little?
Well, there's only so much we can do.
Right.
If they're discreet about it, you can't really see it. If there's a trail, then, I kind of have learned some of the little things that happen on there. I know when horses or when people, make new trails or they move on the area, but that's how I'm able to see it, or the people who walk the area, they let us know.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
That's good.
community members are really helpful in seeing things that, they're out of the ordinary and reporting it to us. When, they see a staff member, they let them know. The other thing is, we had a few irrigation items, couple breaks and lateral breaks on the area, Palisades here, Almond. Those were the ones that were a little more severe. Fortunately, the one here at Community Center was not a true break. It was just like a crack. We just replaced the coupler, and that was it. So it was in a lot of water that was gushed out. 2 years ago, it was a lot more. So that one, just a stream of water because it's going down. There was a sign area down there. But that one, it was a 6-incher, 4 or 6, I can't recall. And the other thing is that we work with SMUD on some of the tree removal, and they also offered some mitigation for trees that we would like to plant. They give some kind of vouchers that we can go to a nursery and cash them in. So I'll be working with Barry to get a few trees that we want, perhaps some color, like Mike like in the parks.
I love
That would be nice, yeah, get some
So
color.
let's see how many they're willing to
But do we
give
have to
us.
pl- do we
They
have to-
remove- Go ahead.
Do we have to plant them in Sundance, or do they just give
No,
us?
they're just gonna give them to our discretion.
All right, good.
So, yeah,
That's even better.
they
Yeah.
really work with us. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could just say, we're cutting all these trees, but they really communicate with us, and we express that to take us the least amount that you can, because it's a nature site that people like to walk and visit. Sundance, I mean,
Yeah,
it is their easement at the end of the day.
yeah.
So, but also with the trail, there's going to be some mitigation as well at Sundance. That's where those trees are going to go there, so.
Yeah.
That's kind of when I wanted to report to the board on
All right.
Sundance. There were about 10, correct me if I'm wrong, 10 trees, and then they pruned 2 or 3 at Sundance. Not very large trees, but they were all along the fence line away from.
It's good to know, because
They also had to
that's
remove
been
some-
that's been a topic of discussion
Yeah.
on that trail
Right.
project, so that's
Yeah.
good to know.
So,
One tree was fairly large, but they also had to remove some large trees on property owners on the other side of the fence.
right.
So it ended up being a pretty big job for SMUD.
Well, good.
All
That's
right,
good to hear.
So are you done, Horacio?
Yes, sir?
Jennifer, anything from the front desk? We got a new person there, right? Because according to the letter, and
We do-
actually, we have 2 new people, right? We have a part-time person.
We have a new part-time front desk, Marinda Owens. She's helping out in the afternoons. And then Kathy moved from the part-time clerk into the open admin clerk full-time position
Yeah.
that was vacated by Christina in June.
And then,
So that went obviously very smoothly because she,
right.
you know,
Well, she was already working, so you
Years,
just had
yeah.
to pick
That
up a
went
few
really
other
smooth.
things.
yeah.
Good.
And you're recruiting for Nadia's position?
Yes, and we had interviews on Tuesday, first round, and we had 8 applicants, 7 of them interviewed, and we're advancing 2 of those to a second round interview next Wednesday.
Okay. And that's going to be within 2 weeks or so?
Well, we hope to be able to make an offer soon after that second interview, that's our hope. And I would say worst case scenario, they would be able to start by around late September, if the afternoon.
What part of September?
Late September, probably
Okay,
around
all right.
Monday, the 26th is my target date.
Okay,
The
that's
latest
good.
target date, hopefully earlier.
Yeah.
All right.
We did have a little bit of good news come from the county. We had the benefits meeting with them a little bit early this year. Normally, it's not till the first week of September. But we projected originally 7.5% increase for benefits, and we adjusted it before the final because Kaiser came in at 3.91% increase, which is everyone but the one person that's on Sutter was 4.9.
Oh, good.
So
Right.
Yay.
Yeah.
another year that it hasn't gone through the roof, which has been
Hey.
expected.
Wow.
We'll take our blessings where we can
Yeah.
get them.
I know, wow.
$1,000, we'll take it. So I think Barry's already adjusted the budget to
I did.
reflect that, but that was good.
Good news, okay.
Yeah.
Jason, I missed the chart, the graphic.
Well, I didn't get all,
I was looking forward to. I
I
go,
only would have had one peek on it. It was,
Oh, no, that's fine.
but I didn't get all the disbursement of the projections done in time to try to get
Well, no,
this.
that's fine. We'll look forward
Oh,
to
you'll
it.
have some pretty stuff next time.
Okay, good. I like it.
Stepping up his game.
Oh, you just
Speaking
wait.
of pretty
Now
stuff.
it's on.
Might just be pictures of me, but that's all.
Yeah, no, that's, I get the impression from what the Barry said that we've done well.
yeah, we did well rec-wise,
And,
yeah, obviously, just
And I-
awesome.
But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the swim lessons and all that is a lot of money makers, and from now through the end of the year, we start dropping off a little bit.
Oh, no, I mean, compared to what the summer.
Right.
It doesn't compare, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I did, as I was going through the pictures, I did want to mention that we have the pictures of the junior giants, and that's a specialist, Andrew Gross. He spearheaded this for us, and he had about 170 kids.
That's
out there.
Yeah,
fantastic.
no, is that something that's going to be going on?
That's
Yeah, I mean,
fantastic.
And the thing, it's a free thing by the Giants. You see them all in the gear and all that stuff out there. That's all from the Giants.
That's
Wow.
I guess it's
fantastic.
the one good thing the Giants are.
I love that. I love it.
Well, other than,
So everybody out there watching, catch that?
That was
I'll
Jason
say it to
Bay,
you too.
Oakland A's fan.
how,
But I mean,
You're an Oakland A's fan? But
Yeah.
they're next year's Yankees.
No. No, they don't have anybody to be next year's Yankees
They're
right now.
next year's Yankees.
That's a
Anyway,
triple A
wanna
squad.
Bring it back, bring it back in.
yeah, it's, A's are, they're the A's.
What a great
Whatever.
program, though.
All right.
No, it's a very good program at
All
the,
right, so you're done, Barry, with all your
Yes,
reports?
yeah, the
Okay,
photos
then.
kind of tell a good story.
Yeah, those are nice. I like those in there.
All right.
Appreciate seeing that.
13A motocross. So I don't,
Cyclocross.
Cyclocross.
whatever.
I was like, motocross? Did I miss that?
I call it motocross.
Gonna say, is she getting a motorbikes on there?
I move we approve the agreement with Jennifer Clayson of Clifton Races to rent Orangevale Community Park for the Sacramento Cyclocross event, October 21st through 22nd of 2020.
I second.
Okay, now I got some discussion, a minor
The motion need to be made first.
motion in a second. We're into
Okay,
discussion.
Now we're into discussion.
I'm sure it's
Two
about the
things.
weather.
What's that?
The weather, right?
Well, the weather, but
Well, we
also,
figured out how to fix that, right? There's always,
it's in there. It,
Yeah.
it,
Put in my order.
right, okay.
there you go.
It talks about alcohol, and I wasn't sure, and you're probably more familiar with it. It doesn't really, it kind of talks about it, but it doesn't specifically say that they're going to have security there.
She will have to follow the ABC regulations, which if there's 100 or more people, she will have to have security and has to have an enclosed area
And
that's
has-
designated just for alcohol
Well,
service.
It does talk about a beer garden, but I think in our agreement, it kind of skates over it a little bit, so I'd like to make sure where that's covered a little bit better. I
It's-
mean, you do a good job, the farmer's market seems to do a good job, but I want that, I want it covered a
You
little.
want a guarantee to be just like that.
When I get the ABC permit, I have to take it to property owner for signature and to law enforcement for signature, and so they're the ones that offer the guidance, and SAC sheriff is the meanest.
Okay, and so.
They
so,
are.
You are gonna have somebody there.
I have people on my team, yeah, so I have like one of our, because we're a nonprofit now, one of our board members is actually used to be like the head of the Citrus Heights Police.
I just wanna make sure that it's,
But what Sac Sheriff requires when you file a permit is you have to provide them with the agreement of an approved security.
so what she's talking about, you have to,
They have to approve her security.
Okay.
Before they even
Okay.
put their signature on.
I just wanna make sure,
Yep.
we kind of brushed over it a little bit. I wanna make sure that we're, in any kind of future stuff, that we be a little more specific, and you're a good.
Yeah, it's, I mean, Sac County is the toughest to get. It really is,
All right, so as long as,
for spaghetti.
and you gotta bring that back to us anyway, right, before?
It has to be on file before we have the.
Okay,
And we
so
can
you guys,
transfer liability insurance as well.
so Barry, you and your staff are now aware that it's gotta be done a certain particular way, and,
Thank you for bringing that up.
yeah,
Mr. Cass.
and then the other the other,
B,
Huh?
it's very specific,
Yep.
what is it?
Why are the dates crossed out on
7.
page?
well, that was the other, it
Yeah.
was,
We have a clean copy. Jennifer
Okay.
brought a clean copy
It
today.
was mostly because she changed the date from the original, and I needed to get it to Barry as soon as I could, and so I just kind of changed the date for there on there, but we have a clean copy of it.
okay, because that was my other,
Okay.
It was-
my other
it was-
problem.
I just
was that-
figured the board packet didn't have the current copy on it.
No, it does not.
It was a
I
matter
just
of
figured,
time.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So Section
I was-
Barry's
7B
being
talks
on that
about the alcoholic,
Tuesday.
their obligations.
Okay,
Understand exactly what she's supposed to do.
okay, all right,
So we're,
We're on it.
this have to be tied up in our end.
yeah, it just,
Tied up with
it
this
just,
section.
I'll keep an eye on them when I'm out
well,
there.
no, I just was making sure that, because it talked about
I
a
wanna
beer
see the
garden, and
little
I've seen what Lisa's done with her stuff and what these guys did, and I wanted to make sure that we're, and maybe I'm trying to be too tight with it, but it's like, it's just,
They
Did
do,
they have that last year?
yes, and they do a very good job. They had it last
They had
year.
it last year. The only thing was the mud, right? We had an issue with
And the
the
purpose
rain.
for the beer garden, to be honest, it's not, I mean, that is not the focus. People are
Right.
there to race. We're a nonprofit now, and our mission is to help people of all ages and abilities find achievement, adventure, and connection through cycling. And so we have a local craft brewer that supports us with the beer, and the beer garden has just become kind of a place for people to collect, debrief, have a shared experience. So the focus is really
and you
the
might,
amount of work it takes to get the ABC license.
Yeah.
It's not more than from a fundraising, it is a tiny percentage.
right,
I think total, I mean, it's hundreds of dollars maybe, which when it's $5 a beer is over the
Yeah.
entire day, is basically nothing. But we just like the opportunity for people to have a place to go to connect.
and if the weather's nicer, it'll be a nicer, last year,
Otherwise, it might be hot chocolate or,
I wouldn't think it'd be, last year when I walked, there was nobody, I saw there was a drinking beer at all, because it was,
There were not many takers.
They were just hanging out.
and then the other, I like to see that we raised the money, the charges to you, and then we were to more represent the numbers that are there, and then I like the 160 for the time before, but I was talking to Barry, and you guys are going to use the horse arena, and I feel more comfortable with our crew coming in afterwards and cleaning that up, and I'd like to see a charge put towards that. I know you guys could probably do it, but I think for us, we want the horse arena to look,
yes, but, so as a renter and as a board of director, it's kind of, it's already in the agreement that the park has to be in the same condition as she rented it.
right,
So, but to say that we're going to automatically, or would like to prepare that section and then charge her,
well,
doesn't
I know,
sit
but-
well. I mean, I know where you're going with it, but I don't,
But if it's used, and it's gonna get chewed up a little bit, and that's fine, because it's sand or whatever it is. But I would feel if they do something and somebody brings a horse in and then they have an accident or something, and then they're gonna turn to us.
but if the renter leaves the facility the way they found it, which is what's in their agreement, then
there shouldn't be
after
any
their
issue.
sidewalk, there should be no additional charge. Now, if they were to leave it in bad condition, that's where the deposit comes in.
Right.
Well,
So,
if we're charging before the 160, that's what I want, is that we're going to go ahead and charge you 160 after for our crew to come in and clean that all up, to make it like we want it.
so,
That's
Okay.
that's my problem.
I know,
with it.
but the way you want it and the way, okay, so what I'm thinking is that the way you want it is the way it should be in the beginning, and that's the way
Right.
she should leave it. And if she doesn't, then the deposit is
Fixes it.
used
Right.
for
But-
the additional charges.
Right.
But
Deposit
then,
we
but then
use-
our crew is going to have to go in there anyway and look at it, and we're spending time
That's their
doing it.
job.
That's what the fee is for renting it.
Yes, and that's their job, is
But I'm
to
saying,
look at the
but I'm
grounds.
saying that I
That's
think,
why we charge.
but I'm saying the fee's not enough.
Oh, well,
That's what I'm saying.
That's a different.
Okay.
Well,
now
that's a different, that's a
Oh, yeah.
whole different
That
ballgame
should've
that
been
we
in the
can talk about
contract.
another time.
Yeah, another time. I think the rental
No,
is.
but they're
obviously
bringing it to
expensive,
now for us to approve, and I'm saying that the charges aren't enough.
Okay. Well, we differ in that opinion, so.
but We'll have to look at that come next year. Right now, I'm.
But
Okay.
we have a
We have a
motion.
motion and a second.
All right?
We've had
And-
discussion.
And we're having discussion, all right, then bring it to a vote. Okay?
We ready to vote?
Ready to
I
vote.
am. Okay. Presnell,
Yes.
Stickney,
No.
Mraz is absent, Brunberg is a yes, Montez.
Yes.
All right.
3-0-1,
Three.
one absent.
Put a feather in your
One
cap, so
no.
Talk about this deposit for a later day. Because if you don't think that's enough, then we should have that.
Well, no, that's fine, that's for the staff to decide is not adequate.
I'm looking
Afterwards.
forward to seeing those stride bikes and that information.
Well, we don't have a schedule of renting to a cyclocross, right? I mean, we
Well,
have,
it's
we
the
have a
same-
schedule for
No,
buildings, we have
it's
a
still-
schedule for.
It's still the same as, it's a public event, so the scale is the same as special events that everybody
So it's close
has.
to what you pay for the
Correct. Correct.
Palooza.
So,
But I mean,
well,
it's-
it's not close to Palooza. Palooza was a different, we're talking a whole different
Oh, okay.
amount of people.
Right.
Right? So, but it is in line with what is approved and published for our rental properties. So,
So you,
Next
be on the
year-
committee that checks how
Oh,
these
believe
rental
me,
rates are
believe me.
calculated.
We will meet in October.
next year, they all come to us annually.
Yeah,
Well, we're coming in October.
I mean, for
So-
anyone, I'm saying you can up our contractual deposit fee for cleanup. You can do that.
Right, you can
It's just a
increase the
If
deposit,
they don't
right.
do it correctly, then they
right.
forfeit the deposit.
Right.
If they do it,
But I'm trying to take care of it. Let's just take care of it ahead of time so that we,
this is, yeah.
But the park should be taken care, oh, I apologize. The park should be taken care of ahead of time for our renters and for our public. That's part of, that's why we're
That's what we
here and
do,
what we
right.
do. But I understand what you're saying. However, this contract is within the guidelines that are currently established.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when they come,
well, then we'll
When the
look
staff
at, we'll look
comes
at
for
that.
increase-
We'll look at that for next year then.
oh, well, yeah, and that should be across the board.
Yeah.
Farmers
everybody. Oh, yeah.
We need to
Market,
look at all the rental
Summer
rates.
Palooza, whatever it may be, but this agreement is according to what we have now.
Okay.
She came here based on this agreement.
So,
Oh,
and
all
it's a good program. We want to see it stay.
And last year, I'm sorry for the market last year left, definitely not what we wanted to, but our first race that my husband and I ever put on was a cyclocross race in 2014 was here at Orangevale Park, so
All right.
I'm glad that for years we were able to do this.
Absolutely. And you know what? Mother Nature, what are you going to do with her, right? I
And
mean,
I think with the guidelines this year, in line with what we talked with you about, and half forecasted was 48 hours. And also to further with smoke and everything else that can cause us cancellations, with, you know. that's
Fires and
very
all
real,
that,
too. We have two smoke out, rain out dates in our schedule. So one after the second to last race and then one after the last race as well, just for, we need to panic, it's not a good situation. to hold a
we
race on.
appreciate that. Thank you.
And that in this area.
Thank you. We appreciate
Looks
that.
cool, I might have to come and watch it.
It's
But I
very
mean,
cool.
The whole little path thing looks
You
pretty
gotta,
amazing.
you gotta think, I mean, it's pretty wild,
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
you know?
Well,
I'm one of those spectators that'll sit in the beer area and connect with
I'll sit
people.
with
Hand-ups are
I'm
a
a
thing, so
YouTube.
they hold things out for the racers to grab as you go by. So someone brings celery. My son likes to do red vines, so you grab a red vine, try to eat that as you go by. And I have someone that brings celery each year, so
celery.
take a pic.
Cool.
Cool.
He doesn't get as many pictures as me.
Well, what is the, how many entries do you get?
Last year, we averaged slightly under 300, I think.
Wow.
And that's broken into 6 races throughout the day, so.
And different age groups?
Exactly, and
Right.
so we're putting a lot more emphasis on the youth. So coming in, it's like some younger grade levels, making some categories specific to high schoolers that they'll identify with. Because there's a really strong mountain bike culture in the area. Like there's the coach of 11 of the different schools in our area is the vice president on a nonprofit board. So he's been able to bring more kids in, trying to get more kids out there on bikes too.
Jennifer, please share with the rest of the board what you shared with me earlier about your grant, and because they're a nonprofit now, so listen to this.
Yeah, so we applied for and were awarded a grant. I don't know if you're familiar with Strider bikes. So they're the little kids' bikes that don't have pedals. And what's fantastic about those is it basically turns the nightmare that all of us had about taking training wheels off and crashing into a fence because you can't balance. It takes that whole paradigm, flips it on its head, and so we start by teaching them, we're going to walk with the bike between your feet, and now you're going to sit on it and scoot a little bit, and they get to the point where the balance is really intuitive.
My
And
kids
that's the
don't.
hardest part about riding a bike.
Yeah.
And so we got a grant specifically from the Strider Foundation to buy 20 of these little Strider bikes, targeted about kindergarten age. And since we fulfilled all the terms of the grant, we get to keep them. And so we're planning on bringing those out for the free kids race in the middle of the day. And these ones are really cool because you can actually take the pegs, little foot pegs off them, and then put pedals on that exact same bike. So the feel and the handlebars and everything that they were used to on that little kick bike, they end up being just able to pedal. So you get them to start like jumping like a frog and put their feet on. And then instead of their feet on the pegs, their feet go on the pedals. And we've actually did 4 week-long camps over the summer. And if the kids wanted to, I mean, tell us if they wanted to, but if they wanted to, they were riding a bike in a week.
Isn't that fantastic?
My six-
Just rolling around,
So do you,
training everywhere.
My
We're fostering that.
6-year-old started on a, we call them balance bikes.
Balance bike, exactly.
And she still prefers to get on that and play with that as opposed to her actual bike.
so you keep track of how many participants, like you said, last year you had like 275 roughly?
I mean, yeah, they register, and so, I mean, because we need emergency contact, and they need to pay. And
So you'll be able to tell us afterwards how many you had?
Yeah, so we have the 3 kids race in the middle of the day.
Okay,
And they just get like a little number plate and a cookie when they finish.
that's fine.
It's not huge.
Oh, how awesome.
And they're great.
I'm glad we have this venue for you to use.
And appreciate you guys doing
Awesome, I can't wait.
All right,
We'll get the contract signed.
this.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer.
Joe, you're not.
So 13B is a public hearing. Do we have to open it to a public hearing?
Is it a public?
13B, I think we do have to open up to
Yes.
public hearing each of these different
B, C,
items,
and D.
correct? B, C, and D?
Right.
And then I make a motion? Okay.
Sure, let's start with B.
Do I make the motion and then you open it to public
Okay,
hearing?
I'm going to go ahead, open the public hearing on approval of Resolution 22-08-694, adopting the Orangevale Recreation Park District General Fund final budget for the fiscal year 22-23.
A second?
So,
No, this is opening it up to public hearing. There's nobody
So-
here?
Anybody online?
Well, I-
We don't have anybody
I
online.
guess,
have
no,
any
I
other?
think I think it goes staff report first, then we open up to public comment,
Oh,
and then it's.
and then we make a motion?
And then we have.
Yeah, we make a motion after the public hearing.
Right,
Yeah.
after, all right, so staff first.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right, the final budget message. I do have that up. Because I didn't have time to compare it to our preliminary budget.
yeah, there were
So-
some definite changes. A lot of it had to do with, we had during the preliminary budget, assuming that we'd have to dip into our reserves. And because our revenue was so strong, we don't need to. And that's great. Another difference is we are going to be using money from the in lieu fees, in lieu park development fees, for primarily the trails, not for the pool. If there's any ADA requirements for the pools, which we believe we won't need any now, those funds would qualify for ADA improvements, but not anything else with the pool. So those were the big things, and so our budget for structures is up higher than it was in the preliminary. But the amount for reserves is now zero, so it's kind of counterbalanced, those two items. There were some other adjustments that nothing real extreme, mostly it was.
Liability went up.
Liability went up a lot, yeah, so that was unfortunate.
It's gone up
The swimming
huge,
pool repair, you said, was
like
to
30%.
It's gone up.
exceed? That's gonna go up.
I'm sorry, was that Erika?
The swimming pool, I was just reading their email. You talked about the increase in the swimming pool repairs exceeded what we projected.
It likely will, so I made sure I funded for that. So in case we do get, say, 30% inflation on pool construction, which is pretty common in construction right now, is about, anywhere from like 15 to 30%. I feel like we can budget for that. It's in the budget. Hopefully we won't need it all, but it's there if we do.
But pretty much the stuff that we agreed to in the preliminary, the COLAs, the 50 cents, that was all in the preliminary, so that didn't
Correct.
change, right? So
Correct.
that's, okay.
And we were just talking, we gave the 4% as of a couple of weeks ago, and then we've got another 8, the 50 cents and 50 cents comes up to be about 0.8%, I guess.
By average, so it's about 4.8% average that staff will be receiving, yes. Some staff that are making more money won't be getting that full, Really, 50 cents is typically about 1% if you're making $50,000. But for those that are making above that, it's slightly less. But overall, it's about average, about 4.7, 4.8%.
Okay. And then I guess we're gonna put out the pool, and then if it comes in under what we think it is, then we'll just leave it alone. If it gets close, then we'll probably have to have a finance committee meeting later to see.
Yeah, what I was-
And on the trail, I guess.
right, yes.
We'll wait on that till it goes out to bid and comes back.
Yeah.
And if the trail comes lower than we expected and the pool's higher, we might be able to put some of that money to the pool.
Right.
So it's,
As it sits right now, if it's at the upper end, we're okay. And we're hoping it's gonna be lower than that, but
right.
we'll see.
So we have $1,048,000 worth, budgeted for structures and improvements. And that's quite a bit. And another $50,000 for equipment. 30,000 of that $1,048,000 is for Arcade Cripple Creek improvements that we're taking on, fencing mostly, fencing and concrete removal.
And then some of that's gonna be this fiscal year, I guess?
We budgeted for this fiscal year.
Okay.
Some of it may be pushed into the next fiscal year.
Okay. All right, so any other discussion on it? Anything else you want to add?
Let's see. We also budgeted for the survey, and assuming that we're going to move forward with a benefit assessment, the cost for that.
And
The
then
total
we're-
cost is about $70,000. The survey itself is about
And
$20,000.
that's going to come back, when's it going to come back?
The survey?
Yeah.
I have that in a future report.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the meeting. All right, any other questions from the board to Barry? Okay, then staff is done, and we'll go to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to speak? All right, I hear nothing. So we'll close the public hearing part, and then,
I make a motion, we approve the Resolution 22-08-694 adopting the Orangevale Recreation and Park District General Fund final budget for fiscal year 22-23.
I'll second that.
Lisa seconds it, and then I'll ask the board if they want to add any further comments or questions. I'll look to the new person first. You're all good with it? Okay, all right. It looked pretty good. There was a few, like I said, I saw liability went up, and I saw that our wages last year were really close, but I did see that you guys raised that some. Hopefully that's going to be enough. But I think there's enough flexibility, and I was hoping that nobody was going to run, so we'd have an extra 30-some thousand, but that's the way that goes.
Yep.
All right. All right, so we've had discussion.
Budgeted, so we expect.
Let's go ahead and vote.
Okay, Stickney.
Yes.
As absent, Brunberg is a yes. Montez
Yes.
and Presnell.
Yes.
All right, we got
And then-
4 and 1 out.
Okay, then we're going to go to 13C, public hearing approval of Resolution 22-08-695, adopting Orangevale Recreation Landscape Assessment District final budget for 22-23. Can I get a motion?
We'll do a public
Oh, no, staff report first.
staff report.
Excuse me.
Well, the big item here is, again, it's money that we're taking out of our fund balance in OLAD to apply towards the pool and the trails. And it's to the tune of about $328,000.
Yeah, that's the
Out of
structures and improvements, 328,000, yeah.
But aside from that, it is very comparable to what we did last fiscal year and what the preliminary budget shows.
And
Yeah, it didn't change from prelim.
and it is, that a lot of that money is because we've been putting away for this day.
Right.
The last 2 years especially, and one thing that we were trying to do during COVID is reduce expenses, and it paid off and built our balance.
I got a question that's sort of related to the pool. Is it, how's the leak that we repaired last year? Is it still holding all right?
Yeah, it appears to be holding.
The leak is there, repair isn't, there's no loss there, but we did run into this year that the plaster's just coming off. We had about a random spot of plaster that big come off.
So, but that's going to be part of the
It was a
repair?
deeper, that was a deep end.
No, but that's part of
The shallow end as
that's
before.
part of the long range when we
That's
repair the
what's-
pool?
That's part of what's going to be done, but yeah, that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah.
It's getting,
It's
Being
ready,
close.
it's ready.
It's the first time that the
We're
plaster,
pushing our luck.
Right.
it's a sign.
23 years?
Yeah, we're pushing our luck.
All right.
We've been.
23 years.
All right.
All right,
So-
now any public?
So you're done, Barry?
I am.
And staff, anything else, Jason or Horacio? And I guess the pump is in, that's all taken care of, so we're all, the variable speed?
Well, it arrived.
Oh, okay.
It
we
arrived
haven't
on
done-
Monday, and we've
And then-
scheduled to,
And then if I remember correctly, Horacio wanted to, as soon as we could do it, we needed to do it, save us some money.
yeah, but we scheduled it for after when the pool closes.
All right,
which is
okay.
September, after
That's
September
what I thought
17th.
would have been better anyway, but,
Yeah, there's a program that was scheduled, so we worked with them to finish
Their program.
with our program, and then after they'll come and install it.
okay.
So that we don't have to close for
three
three days or so, whatever they take, so.
All right, so that'll look like after September then, or?
No.
we're going,
We're looking at,
the clinic was till September 16th, so after that, I think it's
Right
a week
after.
after that.
Unless it breaks.
yeah,
Yeah.
All right. but-
Hopefully, the week of the 19th is when it would happen.
All right, okay. And then we'll talk about the bid on the pool at later. All right, so
Close the public hearing?
we're done with staff. I'm gonna say, is there any public comment on lighting and landscape district? And hearing nothing, then I'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
All right, I move that we approve Resolution 22-08-695, resolution adopting the Orangevale Landscaping and Lighting Assessment District final budget for fiscal year 22-23.
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second. Would anybody on the board like to add anything? I think we've done well.
Okay.
All right, so let's go.
Brenberg is a yes. Montez?
Yes.
President?
Yes.
And Stickney?
Yes.
That's a 4 and 1 absent.
Okay, then public hearing, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing on Kenneth Groves, Lighting and Landscape Assessment District final budget for the fiscal year 22-23. And quick staff.
Yeah, it's pretty much business as usual with Kenneth
Yeah,
Grove.
Kenneth Grove, it's the same old.
We do have a decent fund balance in there now, so if there is a needed desire for a significant
An
project in
upgrade,
there,
yeah.
we've got about 20,000.
Lansing, that's what we're probably gonna.
Some of it looks pretty good, and then some of the, I guess call it the west side, doesn't look as nice.
It's,
And then,
it needs some work.
huh?
It needs work.
Needs work.
It needs
then-
work, so maybe maybe the maintenance committee can go check that out.
Well, that may be, and then there's the guy, you weren't here, I don't think, when we went to a public hearing, because the guy was going to develop that, and then part of our, was we wanted them to donate that property, which is, that's the, I guess it'd be the east side, it's barren, that's really not in our area of
No,
coverage.
it's
We
not,
want-
it's not part of our,
But we wanted them to donate it and then put some landscaping in there, and then it was part of his request, and then he never developed it. So it's like, I don't know if he thought it was a good idea, and then,
change his mind?
whatever.
But I like that idea about the maintenance committee taking a look at that. too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ideas for that.
I like it because I'm not on it. I got another,
It's on it.
Yeah, no, I'm
it's,
finance.
you're on it, and
You and Manny.
Manny, I believe.
Manny.
But it's a good chance to go out there and look at it, and I'd say 60% of it looks pretty nice. The west side, there's something wrong. I don't, not out back.
We need a mulch. We haven't put any.
Yes.
Anyway, but
Well,
that's,
something to make it look nice. It needs to be beautified a
Irrigation
bit.
hoses are
Yeah.
exposed.
all right, so we have
I think they got left
Okay,
over.
now you gotta ask for public input.
okay, any public input? Then, okay, I'm going to close the public part of,
All right, I move we approve the resolution 22-08-696, resolution adopting the Kenneth Grove Landscaping and Lighting Assessment District final budget for fiscal year 22-23.
I second that.
Lisa
Okay.
seconds it, so
right.
any comments from the board? Okay, then we'll vote.
Brenberg is a yes. Montez?
Yes.
President?
Yes.
And Stickney?
Yes.
And Moraz is absent. That's 4 and 1 absent.
Okay, 13E, approval of resolution 22-08-697.
I move we approve that resolution
Well, that's
approving
the-
the revision of the district's reserve designations in accordance with GASB 54.
Yeah, it was.
I second that.
All right, I looked at it, all of a sudden this page was on, going, what is this?
We could probably remove multiple years and just show
I scaled it down to the past 10 years.
10 years, okay.
Okay.
I mean, 10 years, it's kind of nice to see what's happening in 10
All right.
years. Maybe 5 next time, I don't know.
Well, we can bring it up to the finance
The finance
committee.
committee could see if we want to
Yeah.
shorten that history.
Remember that from when we
Okay,
had
yeah,
five
when
at
we talked
finance
about it, okay.
right, committee. All right, so let's get
Motion
a.
and a second. Montez,
Yes.
President,
Yes.
Stickney,
Yes,
Moraz absent, and Brunberger's a yes. So we have 4 and 1 absent.
okay, then 13F, equestrian. Having gone to the, well, you want to talk about it real quick and
Well,
then,
I can update him. I need to bring him to the trail committee meeting. That easement along there has been in SACOG's master plan of trails.
Right.
It goes all along from the strawberry patch, all underneath the power lines until you hit, is it Excelsior?
Excelsior, that's
Excelsior.
where the,
That's supposed to be a trail easement. So what this person is showing you is what we've demanded all along.
no,
from
no,
the-
I was at the meeting, it's the section of Excelsior. That's the way I interpreted it.
At what meeting were you at?
It's
I was
between
at,
Excelsior and Peerless. It's a stretch.
It was on,
It was on the trails
Planning
meeting
committee
at Citrus Heights at City Hall.
No, that was here, it was the Orangevale Planning Commission, and it was Amistar wants to develop his part of that, what, I don't,
So this,
Oh, CPAC?
CPAC.
CPAC, okay.
CPAC. I was at the meeting, remember I talked to you about,
this easement has been on SACOG's master bikeway plan
Yeah,
for years. I even have an email.
about it,
It's-
Citrus Heights, right?
And it is on it's in our master plan of trails that I'm gonna send you.
but it was talking about, the county wanted that section of Excelsior paved, all paved.
I'm not concerned about Excelsior.
Well, I
For
know, I
our
know.
purposes, it's just this trail.
Well, my thing, remember we did, that's why I was trying to talk to you about all
Yeah, have
the
an
work we
equestrian
did
trail
about
that's paved.
trails through the rest of Orangevale. And
The engineer I spoke with, who's involved with the development, indicated it's not going to be paved, it's going to be it's an equestrian trail, it's going to be probably DG or,
Okay,
yeah, but
That's the trail that's highlighted in the map. He's talking about the lead up to the trail on Excelsior.
Yeah, okay,
We have asked the county has given us a
let me tell you, when I went to the meeting, the two engineers that were here were clueless.
because the county gave us a toolbox.
Right, but they
A
don't,
toolbox that Orangevale can use of on-road trails, okay, that aren't curb, gutter, and sidewalk, because Orangevale is different. So the county gave us a toolbox where,
it was-
on a certain side of the road, you can have pavement, and then the gutter or whatever, the ditch, and a DG path. That is actually in there.
but
You could pick that from their,
they don't, but engineers that were here were clueless about it.
They did not know that?
did-
They need to
'cause
talk
they
to
were-
Dan
no, because it
Schumann
wasn't- they were two young engineers, probably nice people, but they were like, they didn't,
they
well,
weren't brought up to speed.
when it comes to the CPAC or the planning, the community will say, no, we don't want this paved all the way.
Well,
We want a horse path on
Well-
the Excelsior side. Or the
and
pyramid.
that's what the CPAC said, but the engineers said, oh, no, it's whatever they want downtown, so I mean.
Yeah,
we
well,
Oh, no,
need-
downtown has
No, I'm
different
telling
stuff.
you, I was telling you what's at the meeting.
Yeah, you
and
can't
that's
have,
why I
it can't
asked-
be paved.
That's why I asked Barry to put it on the agenda so that we can
Put what on the agenda?
talk about it. So we can say,
And we can schedule
it's
a
about
trails
Excelsior,
meeting.
it's not about the,
It's not about the trail part, right.
No,
It's
it's not
not,
about
it's
the
not the under the power lines. It's what they're doing on Excelsior.
Right.
Okay, so
And-
we probably do need to have a discussion with the engineers, what they plan to do on Excelsior.
right. Then that's why I wanted you to get.
Because we don't, do they say what they're doing on Excelsior in this plan?
They wanted to asphalt the whole thing.
Where did you hear this at?
I was at
So wait,
CPAC,
what the public, what was their opinion at the meeting?
public.
This
the
actually
one-
came before
your
CPAC?
friend- Your friend did not want them to asphalt it.
Well, they can't
Was
if it's
Dana
an
there?
equestrian trail.
It's.
Yeah, you're coming up to an
Let me
equestrian
tell
trail, you don't want to
I
pay.
was at the meeting, and that's what the two engineers said was gonna happen.
Well, the CPAC
Okay.
is just a
Well, they
recommendation.
can't call it an equestrian
They're just
trail
gonna
if it's
let them know This
paved.
is what
Right.
the public wants. So what was the consensus at the meeting?
CPAC said, oh, they're gonna do whatever they wanna do.
Okay.
I was really disappointed in.
Oh,
The engineer I spoke with did mention that this section of equestrian trail is part of the master plan of the equestrian trail going all the way into Woodbridge.
right,
Yes.
right.
So
So,
this is
but
just one
but-
section that he's responsible.
Okay, I get it now, the Excelsior, so we need to talk, I didn't go to the CPAC meeting because it met the 2-acre stuff.
I know, but we
I
need,
didn't need to-
but we need to make them aware that in the future.
Yeah, this is Amos is this Amos's? Yeah, it's Amos.
So it sounds like the Trails Committee needs to get together to discuss this and then
Yes.
approach the engineers?
Right.
Yes.
There we go.
Because, and then we need to, the Trails Committee, I'd like to talk to the engineers and the Department of Transportation, Passaic County, and the toolbox, because
So
we
put-
do
so-
have different,
Maybe we
they
should
have
have
different
some
options that the county can,
That's why I wanted to bring it up, so you
equestrian
can set it up for a
experts
meeting
come in
later.
and share with them.
Do we want to do that for our September meeting, or we want to do it before?
it can't happen till September, but I will
Late September.
spend some time putting some artifacts together that I'm aware of.
And then let me know if you need me to
Yeah.
do any.
Because,
I gotta find out if the guy that made the toolbox is still
But-
downtown.
But Mike, thank
I
you
thought it was Dan
for,
Schumann.
thank you for bringing it to the board.
well, because I
Thank you.
think it's, I mean,
Yeah, we
Sharon
don't want it
did,
just all paid, because there has to be a
Yeah.
law.
Sharon did a lot of work, Manny was involved in it,
Yeah.
I was involved in it. I thought we had a really good,
We do, they have,
We just need to educate them.
right, they just need to see what, I've got
We'll share with them.
files and
There's been a lot
paperwork.
of
and the
turnover.
county did a bunch of really nice work with the three.
They did, and I
So-
have,
We'll guide them
I
in the
have,
right direction.
I have thick file folders,
faith.
Barry,
So-
on trails.
So,
Just thick.
so why don't
Three
you
of
talk
them.
to Barry later, and then
We'll
we can go
schedule a
on.
meeting, and I'll collect artifacts that
And
I
if you
have.
want to give him some information ahead of time,
Yes,
just,
I will.
all right, let's move on. Holiday closure, want to
I
speak to,
move.
well, no, he's just making us aware of it. I don't
Well,
think,
there's a
To
motion.
approve, they want
Because we have to approve it.
Approval.
you want to speak to it then real quick, because it's just the regular,
It's common, we typically close the community center for 2 weeks, and because the New Year's Day holiday falls on a Sunday, it's going to be extended just one more day, because our holiday will be on the 2nd.
and it's two things. One, there's not a lot of foot traffic, and two, it gives the maintenance staff,
a nice.
they do all the whole floors and get the
We
balloons
still have
out
to
of
open
it.
the parks though.
I move we approve the community center to be closed the holiday season beginning Monday, December 19th, 2022, and continuing through Monday, January 2nd, 2023, and returning to business on January 3rd,
2023.
2023.
I second.
You know, it's.
All right.
it's
Motion second, any
2023.
further discussion? All
Ow.
right,
All those in favor?
Aye. Ta-da.
all right, update on board elections.
Yes, so,
Crazy to me.
yeah, so
Crazy.
it's okay, it's okay.
That's all right.
The American way, so it's good. So the 3 incumbents all filed, and they will all be on the ballot in November, so thank you for that. The 2 4-year term incumbents have no challengers for their seats.
But will they still be on the ballot then?
I believe so.
Okay, all right.
I think it'll still say vote for 2.
It would be like, oh, 1, 2.
We gotta check with the county on that, because,
Were you not on the ballot before?
It's,
well, no, I mean, because if the 2 years are not being challenged,
They're on the ballot.
I'm with you, Lisa, it doesn't seem right. I mean, I could see if they were saying, okay, all 3 positions are open and you're voting on any of the.
Yeah.
Pick 3 of the 4.
They should just,
But-
yeah.
So they should not have those 2 people on the ballot, and we should get a lower rate.
yeah. You know
That's the
what?
way I
It's
look
the
at it.
American way.
That's
I'm
my
challenging
logic.
that. Let's ask
You
them
still,
about that.
they still have to vote.
I don't know
There
if the
has to be
rate,
a
I think the
vote.
rate is just by the fact that we have,
You see,
did your email say what the rate was
it's
calculated on?
roughly $1,900 regardless, and that's for their administrative work to
1,900 or 19,000?
$1,900.
Okay.
Okay, but we get to the 35,000 by what?
If it goes up to, there's an additional like 27,000 once there's a challenger. And then if there's additional challengers, so let's say, in this case,
So since there's no challengers for
right,
us
for
to,
Erika's seat, the first challenger, the first seat where there's a challenger, it's 27,000. And then for
Okay,
each
sure.
additional one, it's only like a couple thousand.
okay.
But I'm with Lisa, it doesn't, and maybe I don't understand.
But that would only
I say
shave
we
off the
challenge them.
$3,600. I
It's
mean,
the American
that would shave
way.
off-
Ask the question, we can't get a yes unless we ask.
If they should be on the ballot or not, you've voted enough to see when there's not a contender, you still have to vote
There's
for
still,
that
yeah,
person?
it'll still just say
No,
Yeah.
for 2. and they
and
have
no, in the
their-
past, when
Yeah.
there was no
still have to,
challengers,
yeah.
there was no.
I write my
Well,
name in
that's-
for president, I don't have to.
I voted for you last time. You're the only people there.
Do it.
Right.
Oh, I do.
All right, okay, all right.
Maybe for these seats there isn't, and I can look into that. But the link I sent you for the county elections, I don't think it showed the actual ballot, but it did list who is going to be,
On it.
Okay, because I could have sworn that last time that we ran, and we had no challengers,
Yeah, I don't
we weren't
recall.
even on the ballot.
I don't recall being on the ballot.
okay?
But
Because usually I remember taking like a photo like,
Then it might just be Erika and her Challenger that are on the ballot.
And I could see that they said, that's the case, it's 27,000, okay, fine, I'll buy, that makes,
yes.
so
I
we-
agree.
So
but
do you
what-
want him to double check? Is that-
Yeah, double check, just, it's whatever.
Nothing can be
It
changed if
just-
we don't challenge it.
And if they say that's the way it's gotta be, then I guess we'll just live with it, because we have no choice.
We'll create a bill and have it changed.
And also, if there's any policies on what you can and can't do with campaigning, I'll pass those along as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is, but
I'm sure there is.
Okay, so that's
all
H.
politicians follow it.
That's H.
Never, yeah, we don't want to go there, we'll get in trouble. Update on the pool project.
Sure, swimming pool. So, as we mentioned earlier, all parts for the new pump motor arrived on Monday, scheduled to be installed after the 16th of September. The goal is the week of September 19th. And
So, you're gonna shut the regular pool down, and then we're gonna have somebody come in and do it, right? We're not gonna,
yes, V-Power is the company that
Oh, okay.
we're contracted with.
Are we planning on draining the pool for off-season or leaving it?
no.
Well, I suggest that we wait until we're sure that we're going to move forward with the repairs. So there's still several steps before that happens. That's my recommendation. Would you guys agree?
Oh, yeah, no, we're not
Yeah.
drain it unless there's
So
construction.
my question is, when are they gonna have the packet to put out the bid?
Okay, so,
Well, no, but back to you will test and run the pool pump, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's gonna be,
Yeah,
so
that's-
we'll know that the darn thing works, that we.
Oh,
just-
yeah, no, that,
Okay, yeah, we're not gonna, we're not
But-
gonna
but-
put it in and drain it.
well, no, but you gotta put it out to bid, and so,
Right.
yes. So it's,
I'm thinking-
the month of September is when Aquatic Design Group is expecting to have for us a draft of the scope of work, the schematic designs, and allow us to review that. Probably have to call a special meeting to review it, make sure we're okay to move forward.
so my number one question, now, you're gonna bring somebody else in separate from them to help you review it?
Aside from Aquatic Design Group,
Well, they're gonna give you the bid, right? And then, are you guys, you said you're gonna review it, or they're gonna, who's gonna review, you're gonna review their
the
work?
board to review it. I'd like to probably call a special meeting, so we don't
Special
have a chance
meeting to review the bid packet,
All right, okay.
and
Well,
maybe
certain
our
staff will certainly
attorney,
review it.
or
Attorney,
an attorney, don't we have,
yeah.
we have an attorney, I don't know, is that
Well,
something
whatever.
an attorney reviews, a bid
So,
packet? Yeah.
so we're looking at sometime in the September meeting, or when Sharon gets back, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be here for September meeting.
They expect to have that to us in September, and then the sooner we were able to review it, the sooner then we can start to put it
So
out to bid.
it'll be on the September meeting, but we might have to have a special meeting after that.
Yeah, to review. the bid
Hopefully, it's
packet.
to us in time for a September meeting. It may not be that early in September.
So we're gonna put it out, the plan is right now to put it out to bid October.
November, I believe, is the estimated month for that. And approve it October, November, and then go out to bid roughly 30 days for
That's what
them
I'm
to bid
saying.
on it.
We
They
approve
would
it, put it out to bid in
Yeah.
October, have the bid back by mid-November,
hope to approve the bid in December, construction starts in January.
and then we're looking at 90 days, I guess.
Yeah, they're looking at 2.5 months if things go fairly well.
Yeah,
Okay.
make it 4.
And be ready for swim
I-
season again?
And if you guys could, if you
Yeah.
could put out,
Ain't happening.
when it gets closer, a timeline so we can.
Yes, I have the timeline. I can share that with you all.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah, share us the timeline, but that sounds
It was updated about
extremely
a month ago.
aggressive
Well,
as somebody who does project schedules.
well, I know, but we're.
Especially for
we're-
specialty
We're looking, we want it,
projects.
we want it done by April 1st, I guess, would that be?
So let me finish my report because I have a couple of questions for you as well. So the next thing was I asked Aquatic Design Group if they had any reason to believe that the pool project may be delayed due to lack of contractors or because of snags in the supply chain. And the response to that was, for a job this large, they expect at least 3 companies to bid on the job and to be available during the time frame that we want.
Okay.
And they also stated that the supplies needed for this job are not mechanical supplies.
Yeah.
Mechanical supplies tend to be the ones that get held up
They're
in the supply chain.
backlogged.
So the likelihood of a supply chain delays are low. They feel that weather is the most unpredictable factor, and that would be the most likely thing to cause delays.
That's because they don't want to work in the rain.
Yeah, weather will, yeah.
In a pool.
Repairing a pool, you don't want to get wet.
Well, it's going to be exposed. It's going to be, and they got to do tile work and the plaster work.
Yeah, I understand
Yeah,
that,
plaster needs-
but all that stuff could be done towards the end, like,
Well, we don't know.
but whatever.
I mean, we're not pool people.
Right.
You're not a contractor.
And then the question for the board is, what is our willingness to move forward with the breaking ground of the pool project if we do encounter a concern that would likely cause us to cancel or significantly delay the start
That's
of the
problem.
2023 pool season? So we need to have some sort of a,
Backup plan.
yeah.
Are we talking, though, you say pool season, are we talking to June when we actually start lessons, or are we talking swim team?
I was thinking April, like swim team. I know we open as early as March this year.
Yeah, but spring break, Easter is in April.
Yes.
What's our contingency?
That's when spring break, that would be the official start when we would do the lifeguard training.
Who's got a pool that we can use? Casa?
Cass's got one, or we could talk to Rolling Wood. They've got a pool.
Yeah, Rolling Wood's now the YMCA.
They have a pool, but they have a swim team.
So
How does that-
maybe we just get into conversation with Casa first and then approach.
Yeah, start building our plan B and C and,
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do a contingency plan.
yeah.
What if this?
'Cause we
what,
don't
you
want-
know, If it's this date, what do we do? If it's this date, what do we do?
From what you
If-
said about the plastic, we really, it's gonna have to be really a real reason not to do it. I mean, 'cause
Yeah,
you've
I
got the
mean-
plaster that needs to be done, and you can't really do the plaster till you fix the other issue.
It's, and I'm out for bid on projects for the state, for the Department of Corrections, and I'm telling you, it's, the delays aren't necessarily even the supply chains as much as it is permits and
Yes.
inspections and.
I am worried about the county
I mean,
delays.
it's, yeah, I mean, a cabinet, my good
But-
lord. So,
A lot of the inspection we're gonna be doing, right, or we're gonna have them do it.
you're gonna have county
There's,
permits.
they're gonna be counting on
inspections.
us to help along with that, you know, because we're the ones with a relationship with the county. You know, they're gonna be,
To me, the big stumbling block is if we can start it January 1, and it comes in someplace close that what we can afford.
Right.
You know, if it's,
I was happy to hear, though, that the contractors in the supply chains shouldn't be a concern. I was happy to hear that.
We do need a backup.
Yeah, because, I mean, they always.
Especially with
they're gonna
weather.
say-
I mean,
they're gonna say it's no concern.
our swim program has a huge revenue,
Yeah,
you know.
we can't afford to.
Yeah.
miss that.
but we
And we
can,
definitely don't want folks going somewhere else and staying somewhere else.
but we want the pool to be done
Absolutely,
right, so.
but we need a backup plan.
I think we need multiple. I think it would be helpful if we had, and I don't know which committee it falls under, because I do, on my projects, we have risk and issue meetings, and for every risk, you document what the probability is, what the time frame is, and then you have either a contingency plan or a mitigation plan.
Yes,
So I
absolutely.
think we have multiple risks here and multiple mitigations and/or contingencies. And one triggers this mitigation, and this one triggers another contingency. I would.
We can have an ad hoc committee.
Yeah, let's have an ad hoc committee.
I would think, though, our only real avenue is CASA, because Rolling Wood has the Rolling Wood Rockets, you know, Bella Vista has their swim team, the Fair Oaks Dolphins. It's the only body of water that we have out here that's not really spoken for a rec program.
And so there are mitigation slash contingency
So that would be
plan.
the one, if for anything, we'd have to try to go, I mean, back in the old days when we were at CASA, you know?
Right.
And try to use that water, I mean, they're gonna charge
And that might
us.
be one of the options, depending on which risk we're mitigating, right? Are we
I
mitigating
think
that
it's
we
our
don't
own-
have a pool at all?
Right.
That's one.
I think
We
it's our
don't have a
option.
pool until June,
Yeah.
or we don't have a pool until
I think
July.
that's our option all across the
All
board.
across?
Because there's no other places to be. You know, I said, the other pools around here, they have things. So, I mean, it's not like we can, go and say,
We can't
well,
interrupt their programs as well, so CASA has no programs and
Exactly.
that pool's not in use.
And so- and
Now,
we're looking
the
at
district will charge us, however, we need to remind them how much of good stewards we've been for their various activities and programs.
In maintaining three of their school sites.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not something we need to do now.
Well, yeah, you probably need to open up the conversation.
Conversation, right? The dialogue needs to start now.
But if you want an ad hoc committee,
Yeah, if you want to set something up to come up with other mitigations or contingency plans for
we can call it the
the
swimming pool
party.
ad hoc committee.
Pool Party 2023.
I know.
So,
Yeah, if you want to come up with anything other than CASA option.
That's the only
The
thing.
only
well, no,
Up here.
It's
Jason's right, because,
If you don't want to brainstorm
I
something
just,
else.
knowing everybody in the area,
Yeah.
that's pretty much our option is to go, I mean, that used to be our pool.
Or is there an option that we patch and stay another year and start again next year?
Well-
See, that could be another.
That's a
Well-
scary, that's a scary thing.
Inflation, that's
yeah,
cost.
It's a scary, yeah,
Talk
for
about
the inflation, but
inflation going down.
when we randomly found a hole just popped in the plaster, it was like, that's not good. I mean, that was really the scary part, because we've never had a problem, where it literally broke out. We've had problems where we've heard hollows or, where we patched it ourselves. This was on the bottom of the pool and just,
It just.
so it's got to be
Okay,
done.
It's got to be done. Okay.
So, unless,
Okay,
so, I mean, if you want to start,
if you, want, yeah.
we'll have an ad hoc committee, and we can talk about it.
Only if you think you need it.
Yeah,
Sounds
right.
like.
I don't
you
think we
have-
have too many other options than what we, I mean, that's.
Well, no.
And like I said, I'll start talking, we can talk with, there, I mean, it's all facilities that we have to probably
So
start with anyway.
let's put it on the agenda for next time, ad hoc swim,
Yeah,
Committee.
see if
and then we'll talk about it.
there's other,
Well, no, I mean,
maybe
Jason's
brainstorm
right.
if you think there's other risks other
Well,
than.
no, there's,
It's have a pool or not have a pool, the water in there or not, that's kind of our only two choices. So when we get the water in, there's our big question of what we do,
Yeah.
Do we start off, well, obviously we start off if there's no water, swim team going out that way, and then, if we have to then convert lessons starting out that way until we get it back up and running, those are just,
well, it's,
Okay.
but what, I mean, I'm looking at, it starts in January, and
yeah.
it's short, and maybe it won't be done in April, maybe done in May, and then we can deal with that.
In our
Let's-
perfect world, that would be great.
Yeah, that's not how it
Let's
works.
bring it up at the
We'll
next.
put that out in the universe.
Let's put that up on the next, that'll be a ad hoc committee, and then we can, in the meantime, Jason and you can crack the ice with Cass about next year,
All right.
all right? And then also bring up, or crack the plaster maybe, but put it on the agenda for next time, and the timeline for the whole project.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Update on trail,
So the
Roadway
county,
trail.
the roadway trail.
That's
yeah, the
between
roadway
here.
and trail here at Community Center Park, part of the grant money for per capita. So the county's now received our payment for the CEQA. They invoiced us mid-July. We submitted payment to them like 4 or 5 days later. They deposited the payment, so they received it, deposited it as of August 8th. So now they need to come out and do the CEQA, and they said that they would schedule it soon after receiving the payment. So I sent them a reminder today that we want it done as soon as possible. And then the state grants sent me, a couple weeks ago, they sent me some additional forms and applications that I need to complete and send it back to them, along with the CEQA. And those things need to be in place before the grant funding is put into our account that we can then draw from.
Okay.
So it's gonna be about $200,000 that we can start drawing from as we start accruing expenses for the project. So my belief is that around mid-September, all those forms will be in place, SEQA will be done, our account will be flush with money, and then we can move forward with that.
And we're gonna, can we get an outline of that?
The timeline for that, sure.
Do we have, is that going out to bid?
It will, well, we gotta get the plans first and all that other
Yeah.
stuff.
Right, so Peter Larimer with MTW Group is currently working on the preliminary construction documents for that.
And then, and I'll remind you and Horacio that part of the plan should be whatever they're gonna do to allow us to put utilities under the road in case we need to do something later.
Oh, yeah, put a big conduit.
Whatever, I'll leave it up, I'm not that kind of an engineer, so.
Yeah,
But
that's-
that needs to be, I don't know if it needs to be in one or two places, that's, because.
Well, look at what the plans are for that area in the master plan and where we need to take electricity.
Well, electricity, because we can't come from this side, that side's already full.
It has to
Probably,
come.
I think we have enough water available to us on that side, but we might need a couple of different, but I'll leave it up to you guys
Yeah,
and
you don't want to have
Peter.
to cut through it and,
No, let's do it,
to-
let's do
yeah,
it
get the
now.
conduits in there now.
During our walkthrough, we talked about some of those items, so, and these will be preliminary drawings that we'll have a chance to review.
Right.
And button up,
And then come up with a timeline on that, too.
Yeah.
All right,
okay?
anything else on the trail?
No, that's pretty much it for the trail.
And I guess my last question, we have an idea, so it'll be done about the same time as the pool?
That might be a fair assessment. That might
But
be,
in the rain, I don't know that you
Well, no,
don't
I'm
want to be
figuring-
paving in the rain.
yeah, I think it'll be probably spring,
Right.
when they can break ground, and I think it's gonna be a pretty quick moving project.
It's pretty simple project, I mean, most of it'll be the prep work, and then they won't do that, and hopefully it'll be a rainy year, and they won't be doing that in December, January, but they could start as early as the end of March, April.
It'd be nice to have it done before summer, that'd be ideal.
And then,
Yeah.
and
I
I'll
think
think,
it's very realistic that it would be,
all right,
yeah.
so then we got on to the last item.
Two items, K and M,
Works.
Arcade Cripple Creek.
Yeah,
Trail?
thanks, Lisa, for being there and speaking.
Yes, absolutely.
It was interesting.
It was. Train left the station.
Yeah, well, you could talk about it, and then we'll add. 'cause we
Sure,
were-
so the project passed unanimously by the city council for Citrus Heights, City of Citrus Heights.
Well, they weren't super happy about it, but they went along with it.
Yeah, there was some
expensive.
discussion.
They had to take out a $2 million loan.
Right. Interest-free, but still.
Still, it's still $2 million.
Their staff did an amazing job on
They
this.
did.
They've had to weather a lot of bumps in the road.
They
And,
did.
You know, I thought they did a great job presenting, and there were some members in the audience that were opposed to it, and I think they did a great job explaining themselves as to why things are being done the way they are. Two of the council members seem to have some concerns about, of course, the cost.
The
and-
bridge.
In the bridge. I mean, they entertained, and they were very nice about how, they welcomed the feedback, positive or negative. They said every great idea has great debate, and there was, throughout this project. And it was 3 or 4 years worth of,
Great debate.
It was nice that they also vetted the misconceptions and information that was shared incorrectly.
Right.
They were able to, share with us how they came about and what was actually, the facts instead of how people interpreted different things. And
they were all-
so that was,
One thing that, they were all concerned about the road going up to the bridge, but what they don't realize is that the road going away from the bridge is gonna make it better for ADA.
yeah,
Right now, it's not a very good trail for anybody.
right. I mean, and I think it's a visual thing too, right?
What's her name there?
Some,
Peg, no, she was.
on
Peg
Zoom.
Bernard?
She shared
Oh.
as well. Tom Giamacco shared his safety concerns, and there were some councilmen who were, everybody was generally concerned about the safety and the transition. And so when we had done our walk before, we had talked about it, and so they had actually implemented some of the suggestions as far as the flashing crosswalk and
Yeah, that makes sense.
slowing down the traffic. You know, kind of what we've done out here with, you know, Hazel. So it was nice, and Leslie and her team and them, like Barry said, did an amazing job.
And that part of it is in Sioux Frost and the Sacramento County's ballpark, because it's not in Citrus Heights, it's in Sacramento County.
Yeah, the
so.
part that's the trail, the city of Citrus Heights, is just like the beacons at the crosswalks. But you're right, it's like stop signs, if they want to improve stop signs and
Or
street lighting.
lights. That's county. Yeah.
It is, and we had the Department of Transportation come out during our walk and shared with them some of that information, but, you know, it's you know, people are either going to be responsible and not speed, or they're going to speed through the neighborhood. That's the hard part, and they have their,
I think the only thing we might do is eventually put in a letter from the board to Sioux Frost and say that we really want something done with that. I mean, I know it's already,
I think that's a great idea, Mike.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's a great idea.
if you want to write it between now and September and
Bring it to the
let
board.
the
for
board
approval.
look at it and then send it off. I mean, we need, at least we can be on record as saying we're really concerned about it, just do whatever you got to do, you know, and that's my feeling anyway.
You know, and it's the TOC grant is something that the county provides, and it's too bad that, you know, they're not a nonprofit organization, and in some sense, they're neighborhood watch, and maybe they are, but, you know, that TOC grant would be an excellent funding opportunity for that. I mean, for the safety of that neighborhood and those kids and that
So anyway,
transition.
I think we need to be on record as saying we want, you know, and I don't want to exactly say what they need to do, but I think we need to.
Well, we want all of our residents in our community to be safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when it's leading into one of our parks or one of our trails or whatever our activity may be. I mean, and we emphasized that when we were at the meeting at City Hall, so.
And I think the other thing that we're probably going to need to do is we're going to need to, once they start on, we need to start going on the second phase, Sharon, and that's from Watchatill.
To Woodbridge Ranch, right.
And we can probably wait till at least they start, but we need to start. I mean, the county already has the right to do that. They need to resolve that they want to do it. And and that's when I suggested to Barry that part of the new OLAB should specifically mention that some of the money will be used for maintenance on trails, so that if we get the county to go into partnerships with us, at least we've got a source of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think when we get around to doing that, it should mention in the new OLAB that that's what some of the money.
It is a very exciting project, though. I'm very excited about it.
It's a big project. I am so excited. It totally leaps and bounds. Wait till you see my master plan of trails that I drafted 20 years ago, 1999, for the Orangevale Park District.
I'm excited for you to see it
Anyway.
come to fruition.
All right, so,
And Horacio and I talked also about the importance of every year trying to make improvements for our ADA.
Yeah.
And this is going to be great. I mean, both String and Sundance are
right.
going to be completely ADA compliant.
And that's,
Wow.
that's what they, you know, they
That's
said,
what's
that,
huge.
that's what they don't understand about that bridge, because the reason they put that big slope was so
For
they didn't have to
ADA.
tear out half the hill across from it.
Well, I think some of the folks just envision, you know, when they said that it's going to be 5 feet higher, they're like, it's going to go 5 feet higher, you know? Not the gradual, you know,
It's 5 feet over 150 feet.
right.
you know.
And it's not, I mean, it's the perception, right? It's hard to envision when you,
Picture it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think once it's completed, that it'll be like,
Wow, this is nice.
yeah, this is minimal,
Well,
yeah.
Bridge.
Yeah.
It's a 4-degree.
This-
All right, so,
So that's pretty much the update. Oh, there's one thing that I'm going to be doing soon is because we purchased portions of the backyards for 4 properties along Escalonia and Drywood. And I'm going to keep them up to speed, updated on when things might start. And Leslie's going to work with me on that too.
Great.
And so they can be informed when the fences are going to start, the work on the fences.
Can we do that
Right.
before they start, or do we have to coordinate with them?
Well, there's one fence that we've taken on responsibility for,
Right.
and that's really a border fence between String and a property owner. And that one, waiting for Leslie to give us the green light as to when we can start that, but it's gonna be, we're gonna have a long period of time that we can do that.
And then what about the tearing up the concrete and putting in?
Yeah, that too. Once, I think once all the ink is dried on these contracts, we could start working on that.
So, because it'd be nice to do before, this winter, assuming we get rain, we can tear it all out.
Yes.
Put the wildflowers in there now, so it'll look a little nicer.
Yeah.
I didn't like the one guy's comment about it was an ugly park, and I'm going,
Well,
well, it's not a great park, but it's partly because we've been just like stopped on doing anything major there.
All those 200 trees being removed. Now the power lines are much more visible. I think before that, it was much more attractive. And I think once you get into the park a little bit, I
Well,
think it's beautiful. It's
if you
got
go- if you
the
go
oldest,
back-
most beautiful oak tree in our district.
And if you go back, there's, what is there, like a 2-acre parcel that we have back there that's off of Thunder?
beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right, exactly.
The nature that's in there.
And it's not the best time of the year either, not
True.
when it's 105 walking around out there. All right, so it was a 6-foot, and we don't know when they're gonna start either, are they, or they?
They said the fall.
Yeah.
They're gonna start in the fall, and it'll be done within 2 years. And I think they're just, I think it'll be done a lot sooner than that, according to their original projections. I think they're just giving themselves that extra time just in case
Well,
there's.
because they can't really do anything around the waterway from 15th of April or October
That's
to
true, too.
15th.
You're right.
I mean, they can do other stuff.
But the bridge work on,
The bridge
because there's
work.
2 bridges they're putting in, one in our property, but another one within Sunrise's property. Yeah, and so those 2 bridges are gonna have to wait during that time where it's.
I mean, they could do some of it before then, but, all right. What else we got? We're done already?
Benefit assessment.
Survey.
Survey?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm going to be meeting with Susan Barnes of SEI Consulting on Tuesday afternoon to review the progress of the survey. She said they've made really good progress.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they've been working on that. Susan feels we're still on target to have the survey sent to a cross-section of our property owners sometime in September. So that timeline is still intact. And then I asked Susan, as you and I discussed, asked Susan to include trails as a priority.
Right.
So when she's creating the survey, because when we
About that,
created our
yeah, 'cause
priority
it's-
list.
yeah.
It's not a priority, but it needs to be mentioned that we want to do trails, you know.
Yeah, and there are some in our master plans, but at least specifying that trails is, and it was in our community
And
survey.
when we had that, when we were at Citrus Heights, the guy from Sunrise said the same thing, that
Yes.
we already knew, that 80% of the people in Sunrise Park District wanted, it was
They want the
passive.
trail, yeah.
They want trails within the parks and other stuff, so. And we already knew that, but it was good to hear that somebody else has the same information, so.
So it's busy times.
Busy
Busy
time.
times.
I love it.
So this should all start falling into place before December?
The,
Pool and the trail?
yeah,
He keeps moving that up. He just keeps moving it up.
tomorrow, I think it starts tomorrow.
I like dates. I like to have.
No, you like your timelines and dates.
Right.
I do too.
All right, so, we're all done?
Yeah.
We get director staff reports.
Okay.
Staff comments?
Jason, you're good?
Good.
Pool's winding down?
Just have the small clinic that they threw out there.
How did the championships go? Did we win?
We won our championships, yeah.
All right.
But I guess now they got you talking, that was your mistake. So we had kids going out to the Meet of Champions, and as there's usually large teams of, I don't remember how many kids, we had like 34 kids, so we were considered a small team. We took third, I believe.
Okay.
For the small teams.
Yeah.
And we actually had one of our kids took first place in the 15-18 butterfly.
Is that a Jesuit still, or is it some other?
Oh, no, the Mid Champions is, they use a 50-meter pools because they can get more lanes. This year was out at Elk Grove.
Okay.
In their new facility. New bird facility.
My one daughter used to be good enough, we used to go to that every year. Or, well, not every year, but
But yeah,
a
so.
bunch of years in a row.
The kids did well.
Awesome, that's great.
Second year in a row? Third year?
We'll call it third.
Yes.
Yeah, last year was even though it was, we did it because of the COVID thing, and so we just had, everybody submit their times and we merged them together. We plan on still on that too.
All right, Horacio, how are you?
It's hot out there, let me tell you.
I mean, Monday was real hot. Didn't seem as bad today.
One of the hottest ones, I can say that.
Tough week.
Monday was hot.
It was a rough week, and
So I golfed on Tuesday
Yeah.
and with all the clouds. It was pleasant. There was
Yeah, it
wind.
wasn't
I mean,
that bad, yeah.
it only got to be 92.
we did prepare a little bit, especially with the turf, because if you let it go with this heat, it's hard to bring it back, and you'll be using a lot more water when it's dead.
Yeah.
So we look at the weather, and the irrigation team just did an awesome job, and
I think it's going to be like that through next week.
till
Well,
Sunday, I
it's
believe.
Sunday, I think, Sunday.
Yeah, Monday starts to go down.
Well, it goes back to normal.
And, it's getting to
What's
the,
normal anymore?
Huh?
What's normal anymore? This is actually
summer's
normal.
moving a little bit
This may
forward.
be so he mentioned to me about and we'll talk about it next week, about the hybrid Bermuda. I think it's a good way to go.
I don't, but,
Yeah, there's just pros and cons. Discussion can be, like Lisa said, it's always good to have. And look at our options, especially for sports fields.
Well, I don't like AstroTurf, or artificial turf. It's not, you get people playing soccer on that or football, and it'll be 125 degrees. It's not pleasant.
It's not.
I don't think that's the way to go, so.
Well, it's too costly.
yeah, no, I don't think.
But just keep it up with a good service for the people, and as you can see, we're doing a decent job as a district too.
Well, from a distance, all the parks look pretty good. They
The
look
customer's
good. I
happy.
mean,
Yeah, I did have I was asked to make a suggestion, and you guys have probably already done it, but I guess on hole one, there's a tree or something near hole one,
All one.
blocking it or causing could lose footing or something. I could be wrong.
What are the new trees?
And this is the bark that we put on there because
Something.
there was.
Very seldom does he come home and say, could you mention? I mean.
If it was a whole
in
one,
the 12 years that have been, he's never once, but this time he did, so
We
I was
did,
like, oh, no, I know.
We put bark in front of the hole. That might be what they're referring to. Just because there was.
some of those holes, the tee boxes, there's a big step. I think.
Yeah.
when
That
you
is
walk-
this causing to lose the grip and it's the footings, their footings.
What was mentioned was that over time, as everything wears out, it becomes a little more slick with the concrete.
So it's the tee box?
Where they tee off, I don't,
Okay.
you know what, I'll get
Get
more
back to me.
specific
Yeah,
and I'll share with you.
That sounds
Actually, what
good.
I will do is I will have him
sure.
There you go.
text me exactly what it is so that I can share it. There we go.
But a lot of, I want to say on 13, there's a couple other holes where the tee box is fine, but there's like about a 3 or 4 inch.
But you know the course, I saw that they had a kids tournament
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, that was last
last Sunday or
Yeah,
Saturday.
it was packed out there, yeah.
A kids disc golf tournament, yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
we're the ones that approved that.
I was not
We
here.
approved that contract
I was
when
not
we
here
had a
for that, but
27
I was
minute,
excited.
a
How long ago?
27-minute
I don't
meeting.
think we approved the kids tournament, did we?
What's that? Well,
Was it
just a rental like we've done before. We only brought them on when they had the big tournaments in that, so.
Very excited that happened.
Yeah.
That was about 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
It's
very
usually
cool.
like when
Yeah,
they
it
had.
was scheduled.
It was on there. I proved
Yeah.
it through.
It wasn't-
It was just a,
That's a
Yeah,
common
I
use.
just think it's
Yeah.
just awesome.
Anyway, all right,
a
so
big ticket item, that one,
Little
that
ones.
what
national.
were we
I
talking
was a
about?
little 4-year-old.
We were on directors and staff comments. And-
Horacio, okay,
Good.
you're
He's
done.
All right.
Jennifer, we're all good? We just started the new budget, and it's too early to look at everything, so,
But she gave us July numbers, which are,
all right. Anything else, Barry?
One other thing, two other things. One is Peter Larimer, I also asked him today for an updated master plan drawings based on the priorities that we all put together.
Right.
ooh,
So,
Okay.
so we can have a more realistic drawings that we can present at meetings when we start discussing.
and have Orangevale Live and all
Well,
of those
because-
people come and see it.
Because the
Website.
one at Filbert Oaks showed a splash pad, and I think we're not gonna put a splash.
Right, that's not on our priorities, yeah.
we'll
So, yeah,
scale down to
redrawn to our priorities, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea, good idea.
And then the other thing is, I just wanted to comment on, because we've been short-staffed the last couple of months, it does take a toll on staff, extra hours and extra stress, especially during the summer months. So I just want to show my appreciation for the staff and how they've powered through it. And also, thanks to the board for all your support. Appreciate it.
All right, so Lisa?
Hey, they're doing a great job, everybody is. Bow Days is coming up. Come see us at the park on September 24th.
What is?
Bow Wow Days.
Okay.
It's a spectacular event.
Yeah, all right.
Look forward to it.
Everything from hooves to hares, tortoises and reptiles, llamas and,
You're gonna have all of them there, or you just?
all of them come. No, last year
They'll
we
be
had
there, yeah.
everything that you can think of.
And this
Well,
is
maybe
just the
I'll-
second
Maybe I'll
year,
bring some
yeah.
grandkids and they'll get
It's
excited.
a blast. It's a blast. So I'm very excited about all of the nonprofit, the rescues and animal. It's just fun. And it's wonderful to see everybody who walks through with their pets as well from the park, so. Yeah, fun stuff. Anyway, thank the staff for me for all their hard work and
All right, Marika?
Just my standing, you guys rock, and really excited about our trails headway. That's gonna be really cool.
It's like Sharon's, we've been working on this.
I've been working on it for 20 years. My son was in a,
Wheelchair out there.
well,
not
in a
wheelchair,
big stroller. And I was talking to the board back then
Well, and
with my draft plan to get them to adopt it.
a couple of us were for it. Maybe all of us were.
No, there was, what's her name, that,
Mary,
yeah, Mary had to, she
Whatever.
rewrote some stuff, but yeah.
whatever. No, it was, so it's.
It's still,
It's-
like Greg says, it's still very applicable, and we just need to update what our priorities are in this one
Well, and
section,
I
so
think,
I'm
and
gonna
we
send that
do
out.
need to think, once they start on the project, we need to go on to phase 2, which is watch it till through.
Right, we need to continue that through to, because
but-
it'll connect to what was on the agenda here eventually.
It'll
Yeah.
connect to Hazel anyway.
Right, and then, yeah,
And then
there's a
we'll-
light there at Hazel to get us
Yes.
across.
First light.
We made them put that in back when we had SACOG put that whole map in. I had to deal with the SACOG people when they
Right.
were realigning the trail, and I said, no, it doesn't go there, it goes here. They had it going up, and I said, no, you bring it down here.
Atta girl. We appreciate your hard work, for sure. Generations will appreciate it. So,
All right,
can I motion?
thank,
What he has
well,
to do is thank you.
I get to speak. Come on.
Oh, really?
Heard all mine.
Anyways, so for next time, let's put on an update on the timelines on the pool and the trail, and there was something else I wanted? No, I
The
think we're all
contract
good.
thing?
Huh?
The contract thing, you wanna make sure they
Ad
understand?
hoc. You
Ad
wanted
hoc
a
committee,
ad
yes.
hoc.
Man, good, ad hoc
I
committee,
heard
swimming.
you.
Ad hoc committee for the pool.
I don't think
At least
it's
put it on the
necessary,
agenda,
Yeah,
Contact for the
and then
Just talk to
we'll
the
see if we
council.
get any volunteers.
Might not need it, because like he
Well-
says, we
well,
can
let's-
think about it.
We
yeah.
probably need to
I won't
have
be here
at
then,
least.
though.
Well, you want to be
Okay.
on it?
If you make the committee, I'll be on it.
All right, okay, so maybe it'll be
but-
me and you then, unless somebody else really wants on it. All right, those three things. And good job, I know it's warm out there, and it's maybe not warm inside, but it's a busy time of the year.
Short-staffed inside.
It's short-staffed inside, so you're all feeling pain.
Well, you're up, Nadia's the only one you're short, right, as far as.
We're losing a specialist on
When they
the
have a part-time.
29th.
Huh?
We're losing a specialist on the 29th.
Uh-oh. And
Yeah.
you're gonna hire somebody on that, or no, is that, you're gonna wait till they
We'll be
leave?
putting an announcement out pretty soon,
All
yeah.
right. And where are they going?
She's working for the food bank for El Dorado County, I believe.
Colorado County? Okay.
All right, well, that's good, that's a good thing.
Her husband's is in the Air Force Reserve, and he's going off for training for a year. And so she needed something that pays more to try to keep things going.
All right,
It's Megan Brennan, she's been great. She filled in really nicely with the camps the last 3 weeks after Nadia left. And, yeah, she's also very valuable, and
and
I'm gonna miss her.
how are the new buildings holding up? All right, good with the,
They're still there.
Yeah.
still there? I know it is.
Survived the camp
Yeah.
with about average of
Busy?
85 kids a day.
Oh, good.
Oh, no, we got some more things to fix, though.
We do.
Well, the nice thing about it is they got all that lawn area between all those. So
Yeah.
it's like you can have a lot of stuff, maybe not at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but, all right, good job, everybody, and let's get a motion to adjourn.
Well, you didn't ask me yet.
All right. Sorry.
I won't be here next meeting.
I know.
I've said it 3 times, I just want to make sure it's on record.
But
Enjoy your
Manny
trip.
will be back, right?
And ditto with the staff doing an excellent job. So yes, I move that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in
All in
favor?
favor?
Aye. We're adjourned.
Director Stickney, I will need your signature on 4 resolutions and